What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about new products and kind of like my everyday routine. This is going to be a video on the chiller side because, to be honest with you, I did not want to film today. I just wasn't in the mood. I was being lazy. I'm literally in a sweatshirt. I didn't bother doing my hair. Luckily it looked pretty good today because I wasn't even coming close to doing my hair. So if you want to see how I get this everyday makeup look and some new products I've been loving, then just keep on watching. Okay, just got my hair out of my face. To prime, you already know I'm going to be using my Loreal Lumi primer. This is the only primer I've been using for a very long time. My skin routine hasn't changed much. I might do an updated foundation routine because normally I change it up a lot and I use a different foundation every week. But recently I've been using the same things over and over pretty much, so I mean I guess this is technically an update on my everyday routine, but I might do a video strictly about my foundation routine because that's the thing that has changed the least. Okay, I think I'm gonna do my eyes first. I always go in with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the Painterly Paint Pot, which is a cream color, from the crease up, and then I'm going to apply a different paint pot on my lid. Okay, so I'm taking the paint pot in Groundwork. It's just a mid-tone brown with a little bit of a sheen to it. I'm going to apply this on my lid. I kind of blend it into the crease. It doesn't make much difference, but it just gives a little bit of color to the lid just to kind of give a base for the eyeshadow I'm going to go into. Okay, so these are the two eyeshadow palettes that I have been recently into. This one right here is just a L'Oreal eyeshadow quad, and the color is Boudoir Charm. It reminds me of that Charlotte Tilbury quad that all the beauty bloggers and YouTubers own. That's expensive for me, so I figured I wanted to try this one. And I mean, for being a drugstore eyeshadow quad, it's really, really good. I'm sure the Charlotte Tilbury is a little bit better in quality, but if you're on a budget, this is definitely a nice semi-dupe for it. It definitely has similar shades as that one, and they all have shimmer in them, and that might throw some people off because people think, you don't want to put shimmers in your creases. I have been loving putting mostly shimmery shadows on my lid. I think it gives a really pretty look, so don't let that throw you off. I definitely recommend this. I believe it was under $10. I know it was definitely under $10, so I have definitely loved this recently. This is the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Amazonian Clay Palette, Young, Wild, and Free. I don't really know exactly what it's called, but this is what it looks like. The packaging is so pretty. It says throw kindness around confetti on the front, and it's got a little confetti specks, and then it's all mirrored gold on the inside. It's so gorgeous, and I mean, look at these colors. This is the perfect travel palette. It is super small and compact, and you have pretty much everything you need, at least for a minimal person. I mean, if you're want to do all these crazy looks, then this might not be for you, but for me it is perfect. My brother just got home because my dog is going nuts. Okay, so yeah, I just like to get those cream bases down. I just really like cream makeup. I feel it's really natural, and it just kind of blends everything out better. I don't know, so I like to get the paint pots on there, and then I go in with the shadow. So I'm going to take this bronzy shade from the L'Oreal palette. This is L'Oreal, right? I'm going to take a little bit on this little crease brush, and I'm just going to go and blend it all over my crease. Usually what I do with this color is I blend it all over my lid and into my crease, and I literally just use that color. Or I kind of do that with any of these eyeshadows. I'll kind of go in with one color just for my everyday look. I'll show you how I add a little bit of dimension. Sometimes I'll do that just with one eyeshadow, and then I go in with another lighter one just to add some dimension, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so now I'm going to mix the darker brown shade and a little bit more of a reddish brown together, and I'm going to pack those on the outer corner. I was going to put it on the inner and outer corner, but honestly for everyday I would do that most likely, so. This makeup is not anything, sorry I can't talk. This makeup is not anything like fancy. It's just really enhancing natural features just to get some makeup on. It's very natural. So if you wear a lot of makeup and you're thinking this is something innovative and jaw-dropping, you're gonna be disappointed. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into my Tarte palette, and I think I'm gonna take this shade right here. It's like a shimmery cool tone brown. I'm gonna pack that all over my lid. And I use my finger a lot with these shades. Honestly, like, using your finger is so underrated with makeup. Like, I feel like it works so much better for like a lot of things. Okay, so you could keep it like this. It's pretty like bronzy. It's a little bit darker, but not too dark. Just to give it some dimension, I do take this lighter shade right here. It's like a nice like light gold shade. I just take a little bit on my finger and just pop it in the center. It's just gonna give your eye a little bit of dimension. I just kind of blend it out. Just kind of whitens the eye, brightens the eye when you add that little pop of brightness on the center of your lid. So that's a good trick to have. And then this shade right here, that's called Party. It is like the perfect highlighting shade. I've been using only this shade to highlight my brow bone recently. It's super pretty. Okay, so eyeshadow's done, and that's actually more than I usually do on like a day-to-day basis, but I just kind of want to show you like kind of like the different things I can do with these palettes. So I've just really been loving these, so I highly recommend them, especially this. Like, it's so cheap and it's honestly really pretty. I get so many different looks out of it, even though it's just 4 shades, so definitely pick these up. They're gorgeous. Okay, another product I've really been loving is the Maybelline just regular gel black eyeliner. I also have it in brown. I use that black a little bit more frequently. And then I also have been loving this It Cosmetics. I think it's like their liner eyebrow brush. It's just like the basic angled eyeliner eyebrow brush. Really been liking that. My other eyeliner brush I've had for like years now, and it was like the hairs were like splitting at the top, so I wasn't able to get like a sharp wing with it. So the two things I'll do with a black eyeliner is I'll either do a kind of like more defined little bit of a winged liner, nothing crazy, just a little wing. I'll either take it like halfway in or all the way in depending on my mood, or I'm going to do this technique right now is I just do a little bit of liner kind of like towards the outside of my eye, and then I smudge it out and it gives a really pretty look. I do that more often than not because it is basically like foolproof. You literally cannot screw it up, and for some people winged eyeliner is a little bit harder, and some days for me it's a little bit harder. So on days where I'm lazy and I want to look good without putting any effort in, I do this technique because you literally can't mess up. I always forget to zoom in now, like, so stupid. Anyway, so I just literally put a little bit of this on the outside half of my eye. You don't have to be super precise. I do try to get it a little bit closer to my lash line the closer I get to my inner corner, and then when I get closer to the outer corner I kind of take it up higher because I like to give my eye a little bit of lift on the outer edge, like that. And then my other favorite brush to use with eyeliner is this right here. This is just an e.l.f. Cosmetics brush. It is the eye crease brush. This is what I use to smudge my eyeliner, and I don't know why, but it works so good to smudge out eyeliner. So literally all I do, again, I'll kind of like pull that black eyeliner up on the outer edge to just lift my eye, just like that. And it gives just a little bit of definition on the lash line, but it looks very like lived in, nothing like, no harsh lines. It's just very blended out, airbrushed. So yeah, I think it's a really pretty look. And this is something you can wear if you're my age, younger, older. Like, this kind of technique on the eye looks good on any age. So Okay, so my camera died, but I just smudged out this eye and then applied my mascara. I used the Urban Decay Perversion mascara. The foundation I cannot get enough of recently. You already know it's the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth foundation. I've used this in I think probably the last 2 or 3 tutorials, and it's just the best. It really is. Okay, and then another thing I've been doing is mixing it with a little bit of an oil. I like to use the Smashbox primer oil. I'll just drop like probably about 3 drops into my brush like that. And then I'll just start applying the foundation. If I want the best results, I will use my Real Technique sponge, but if I'm lazy, I just use a brush because it blends it out a lot faster and I don't have to sit there like tapping and blending for forever. So yeah, right now I'm just using a brush because I'm lazy. This foundation does have a medium coverage. It's like the perfect coverage for me because it's not too much, but it still like covers all my little imperfections and discoloration. I just like adding those oil drops because it gives a little bit more luminosity. It's already pretty luminous. It's like the only foundation, I think I've said this before, but it's the only foundation that has been actually looking dewy on me recently. So, but I just add the drops for extra glow. Who doesn't want extra glow? And also, the price is amazing. This is a $7.99 price tag on this foundation. Like, you cannot beat that. So now I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I don't know if I've talked about this yet in my videos. I know I've used it in a couple tutorials. But yeah, the amount of hype this concealer is getting is like well worth it. Like, it earned its hype because it is really, really good. This color isn't my favorite. It works. It's a bit too light. This is in the shade Light. It's the second lightest shade, I think. I know they expanded the shade range, so I need to like look into that and get one that's a tiny bit darker, but yeah, just for now, this is the shade I use, and I really do like it. Full coverage concealer, it's not heavy. A lot of people say it doesn't like crease on them. I find that it does crease. I always said it. I just don't think a concealer is not going to crease under my eyes because my eyes just have a lot of creases. And guys, the amount of laziness I am right now, I didn't even put water on this. I'm just spraying it with my Rescue Rose water. That is the amount of lazy I am because I always forget to wet my sponge before I sit down. But it's actually working pretty well. I haven't used my Bye Bye Under Eye with this yet, but I think I'm going to try applying a little bit on top just to see the amount of coverage I can get, because both of these concealers, the Bye Bye Under Eye and the Tarte Shape Tape, have insane coverage, so let's just see what we can whip up. Okay, so I just put a little bit of the Bye Bye Under Eye on the back of my hand, and I'm just warming it up with my fingers, and then I'm going to take this concealer brush that I got in my Ipsy bag and use that to apply it just kind of like in this area where I get the darkest. This is not really an everyday makeup routine anymore because I do not do this. I'm just going to set with my Mercier setting powder. It's the only one I use. I'll show you this beautiful thing. So if you watch my videos all the time, you know how much I love the Lorac contour palette, and they just recently came out with a cream contour palette and I have been loving it, so I'm going to show you that. Both of the cream and the powder contour kits come with a brush in the kit. I'll be honest, the one that comes with the powder kit is garbage, but this brush that comes with the cream is really, really good. I use both sides every time I use this palette. So I'll just take literally the tiniest bit of this shade right here. It is called Warm Brown. They have the names on the back, which is nice. I just take the tiniest bit on the edge of the larger side of the brush and I just draw a line. I keep it on the upper half of my face and then I just buff it upward. The only thing I don't like about this palette is that the colors are pretty small, but they're also like really pigmented, so I feel like that isn't going to be an issue because I really like barely dip in my brush. Like, look how pretty that looks. Oh, I just love cream makeup. I feel like cream makeup is like so underrated. So yeah, like I was saying, like you barely need the littlest amount and you get really good pigmentation, so I feel like it's not going to be an issue. But I mean, I wouldn't mind some like singles. Like if I could just get like these two contour shades and like this highlight shade and this concealer shade, it'd be awesome. But I also think this palette's good for like if you do people's makeup often and you need like kind of like different shades of contour. This would be perfect because you could really get anyone's skin tone with this. And then for my nose, I go into that same color. I dip literally the tiniest bit on the smaller side of the brush. I start in the bottom and I just brush upward. I just use the other side and... Okay, so then what I like to do is I go in with, these are all shimmery highlight shades and these are all like concealer shades. So I take this highlighting shade right here with my finger and I just kind of add it to the tip of my nose, my cupid's bow, and my chin. So I'm just going in with my super old Makeup Forever bronzer. This is in Matte Bronze shade 20, I think. Like, literally, this is so old. Look how much pan is showing. For some reason, I went back to using this, like, the past few days. Don't know why. Sometimes I do that. Like, I'll just be, like, rummaging through my makeup and find something that I remember loving and just try it out again. And I love it all over again. Okay, so now let's do a little bit of brows. I'm just going to go with my brow definer from Anastasia in the shade Blonde. And for my brow routine, I basically just fill in a little bit up at the front. I do upward strokes at the front. And then I need to pluck this brow more. I forgot to, but... And then I kind of extend it a little bit. Maybe not that much. And then I go in like diagonal strokes right here. And then I just set it with the Anasasia Clear Brow Gel or my Maybelline, what is this one? The Proper Size Fiber Volumizer. I'll go in with one of the two. This one's just a little bit more natural. So for my everyday look, I'm usually using the clear one. And I like to kind of pull my brow hairs upward, just to give it more of like a fluffy, feathery look. Okay, so now let's go work on the lower lash line. Usually all I do is I take the same crease brush that I was using earlier and dip it into that same bronzy shade. And I kind of pinch the brush because it's a little bit too big for the lower lash line. And just, I kind of keep it on the outer half for an everyday look. That's all I do, and then I just take some brown mascara. I like using my Benefit the Real Tinted Lash Primer, and I add that to my lower lash line. My lower lashes are like scary long, so I try not to put too much on. Then I'm going to highlight my inner corner with that same shade I used on my brow bone from the Tarte palette. Just such a pretty highlighting shade. Ugh. Then for blush, I think I'm going to take this one from Milani. It's the brush I basically use every single day. It is in the shade Berry Amour, like that. And then I'm going to highlight. I just, again, rediscovered another product that's really old. It's this Laura Mercier highlight in the shade 01. In the summertime, I actually use this as a setting powder, believe it or not. It's not a super intense highlight, but when you use a pretty defined brush and like concentrate it in one area, it can get pretty pigmented. Oh my gosh. This lip liner right here has been like my BFF, homegirl for life, this past probably like 2 or 3 months. Like, I cannot stop wearing this. This is the NYX lip liner in the shade, I think it's nude, but it also says like diaphane next to it. Diaphane, I don't know, but it's MLP 10 is like the number. So this lip liner is so good. I'm gonna apply it right now because I just need you to see. It is just like the perfect nude. It is not too pink, not too peach, not too brown, not too light, not too dark. It is perfect. Because I find, like, everyone will be like on YouTube, like, oh, this is the perfect nude, blah blah, and it's like, I get it and it's way too pink on me, or it's way too peach, or just like, I don't know, the undertones just like don't work with me. This though is it's almost like the shade of my lips, which is why I think I like it so much. But I will straight up wear this on its own. A lot of times I will apply a lip gloss on top. I like to wear a lip gloss just day to day because I feel like it looks the prettiest, so. But yeah, I mean, just look at that, like, it is perfect. Okay, so this is from IT Cosmetics, and it is their Vitality Lip Flush line. They have a few different things with their, like, Vitality Lip line. I think it's, like, 4 different products. There's the lip gloss that I have right here, the lipstick, a lip liner, and then, like, a cheek and lip stick. So, like, you can use it as, like, a cream blush and on your lips, which I want to try because I feel like I'll really like that. But for now I got these. These are really cool because, as you can see here, it is like a clear tube. It's got pink on it because I put it over this lip liner all the time, but it's a clear tube. But once you put it on, it reacts, I think, with the pH in your lips, and it turns the prettiest pink color. It's just so comfortable. It's almost, it feels like a chapstick but better because it doesn't have that like thickness that a chapstick does. It's very lightweight, very hydrating, and it just gives the perfect amount of color. That it almost looks like it's just your lips, but it's so much better. Like, I just love the way it looks. But this right here is just like my OG combo right now. Like, it is bomb. I'm going to show you one more product because this is one more thing that I've been loving that I just forgot to mention. And y'all, if you don't own this already, you need it in your life. This is the Urban Decay Single Eyeshadow in Space Cowboy. Oh my god. This is the prettiest glittery eyeshadow ever. How I wear this is I pretty much do an eye look like this. I'll just dip my finger in this and like put a little bit on top, and like, especially like if I wear this during the day and then I'm going out somewhere at night, I just put a little bit of this on and it just kind of like takes it up to the next level. Super, super pretty. I'm going to put a little bit on just so you could see a really complex eye going on, but really I just plop that on in 2 seconds and it looks so pretty. Recently I feel like I actually have a routine, and this is pretty much, I mean, it varies for every day. Like, some days I'll do a more defined wing liner, like without smudging it. I'll do less eyeshadow, I'll do a different lip combo, like whatever. But this is basically it. It's just nice to have a routine that you feel like you can always fall back to if you're in a makeup rut and, you know, you want to do something creative, but you don't have any juice in your system, you can't think of anything. It's just nice to have a routine that you could go back to every single time that you know looks good. I haven't had one of those since like senior year of high school, so just, I like having my look right now. Like, this is my look and I like it. Hope you mind me being a little more chillaxed in this video. I just haven't been in the mood to film, honestly. I'm sorry, but I just haven't. I went really hard over the holidays, like before Christmas, with videos, and I kind of like wore myself out, which I shouldn't have done. I do just want to take a second to thank all of you for supporting me through 2016. That was the year I started my channel and my blog, and the support I have gotten has been phenomenal and way more than I expected. So thank you all so much for that. Comment down below your resolutions for 2017 because I want to copy them. I just don't have a lot this year, so I feel like I need some ideas. So leave me your resolutions down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!